Hello everyone. Here we are once again ready to praise Yellowstone for what it is. The show is not only brilliant in terms of its story, acting, and atmosphere, but also looks amazing visually, which is a factor that we cannot miss out on. When watching Yellowstone, we feel like we are watching a Hollywood movie rather than a regular TV show. Of course, to produce a show with such high quality, one needs not only a whole lot of budget, but also a whole lot of hard work. In other words, we should praise the behind-the-scenes work of Yellowstone a lot more than we do now, as the entire magic happens there and we know nothing about it. Well, the situation is about to change in a second, as we will share all the behind-the-scenes secrets of the show in a single video. Are you ready for the ride? Let's go! Before getting all technical on the issue, we should take a second to remind you guys that Yellowstone couldn't be possible without the amazing partnership between Taylor Sheridan and Kevin Costner. In fact, we owe all the behind-the-scenes magic to the successful partnership between these two amazing names, who made it possible for the show to be a true all-time hit. The interesting thing is that Sheridan and Costner met way before the former has written Yellowstone. Being a fan of Costner, Sheridan sent his script as soon as he writes to Costner. At that point, Costner was on board and the adventure began. Thanks to Costner's presence in the project, many producers welcomed the idea, knowing that if Costner is involved, there is a huge potential that the show going to be a success. Unfortunately, today, we are witnessing the two falling apart and dragging the show down alongside their partnership. Costner's devil-like attitude combined with Sheridan's strict rules ruins the behind-the-scenes magic of Yellowstone. But let's not upset each other by thinking about the potential downfall of our favorite show. Moving on to the behind-the-scenes secrets. Did you know that all the ranch scenes from the show are being shot at a real-life ranch named Chief Joseph Ranch in Montana? The ranch is a pretty old one, built back in 1914. In the show, we see the original ranch with its old walls and lots of raw stones. The interesting thing is that even in the times of Yellowstone not being filmed, the ranch still preserves all the decor of the Dutton family home. So in a way, all that we are witnessing in the show are the true nature of the ranch today. And the good news is you can totally take a trip to Montana and stay on the ranch as a visitor, which is the ultimate Dutton life experience that we are all craving. That being said, not the entirety of the show got filmed in Montana. In fact, almost 75% of the first 3 seasons were filmed in Utah. Starting from season 4, though, the show moved to Montana entirely, as there have been some issues regarding the limited tax incentive programs. Unfortunately, the set in Montana was not big or comprehensive enough to host a large crew for the production. Thus, a lot of additional sound stages had to be built on the land. It seems like working so far since we believe season 4 was looking great visually. Of course, having technical equipment all in one place isn't enough to have a show like Yellowstone. You also need a cast that embraces the country lifestyle, which isn't an easy task to do. In the show, you might realize that we see almost all the characters riding horses at one point. Naturally, not all the actors were experts on horse riding at the beginning of the show. In fact, before the production of the series, many actors took a packed trip to the mountains for 5 days, learning how to be a true cowboy. The funny thing is, out of all the cast members, Kelly Riley seems to be the one who nails horse riding the best, and yet she has the least parts riding horses on the show. The one that plays a guy who dreams to be a cowboy, Jefferson White, on the other hand, had nothing to do with either the horses or the country lifestyle as a true New Yorker. And yet, thanks to the intensive training that was declared mandatory by Sheridan, he is about to embrace the soul of a true cowboy in 4/6 with his character Jimmy. Now, you may question what the stunts are doing if the actors are getting such intensive training. Well, naturally there are stunts for almost all the actors on the show. However, for the most part, the actors are doing the job themselves instead of relying on the stunts. The aim is, of course, to keep things as authentic as possible. You can see this obsession with authenticity everywhere in Yellowstone. For instance, the bunkhouse is like a shrine of authentic cowboy culture, as it has all anyone can expect from a real-life bunkhouse. This is not a coincidence, of course. Instead, there is an immaculate joint work behind it. To achieve such a natural atmosphere, the decoration of the set, Carla Curry consulted 40 J. Smith, starring as Lloyd on the show. Smith is a real-life cowboy who spent his entire life in bunkhouses, so he is the right person to go to understand the spirit of a bunkhouse. If you look carefully, you can see in the Yellowstone bunkhouse that there are lots of photos and personal belongings of Smith, all from his youth as a cowboy. In the beginning, we mentioned that when watching Yellowstone, we feel like we are watching a movie. Well, that's not a coincidence either. In fact, it's a pretty deliberate choice of the producers. In the beginning, the show was designed as a mini-series that will feel like a really long movie, and thus all the episodes were shot like a movie part. Of course, in the end, we had multiple seasons, meaning that currently, we have a very long movie on our hands. Seriously though, can you imagine how magical it would be to watch the entirety of Yellowstone in one sitting? We believe it would be the right way to appreciate the show's masterpiece. Are you surprised by any of these behind-the-scenes secrets of Yellowstone? What other behind-the-scenes secrets do you know about the show? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you for watching. See you soon.